This lesson will be on the structure of skeletal muscle. So the image you're looking at has a corresponding image on page 42 of the anatomy coloring book. And there are 6 different concepts or terms we're going to look at here. This is the physical structure of a muscle, how it is organized. So as you can see in this diagram, we have the bone and we have the tendon connecting the muscle to the bone. So when the muscle actually contracts and shortens its length, it does pull on the attached bone, creating movement. So how is all of this organized? Well, looking at the actual skeletal muscle itself, the largest cross-section is showing the muscle belly. So that is the biggest, thick, meatiest part of the muscle. And the muscle belly itself is surrounded by a layer of connective tissue called the epimysium. Now, the function of the epimysium is to keep all the muscle fibers together and to stop muscles from rubbing on each other. Each muscle is not an isolated unit. It generally is in or works in conjunction with other muscles that are located very close in proximity. So as these muscles are changing length, the epimysium avoids friction between the different muscle bellies. And it contains all of the individual muscle components into a nice, neat package. Now, as we look at the organization within the muscle belly itself, we have a group of muscle fibers called a fascicle. And you see one fascicle outlined here in green, and the fascicle also has some connective tissue surrounding that bundle, and that is referred to as the perimysium. As we get smaller again, we have what is called a muscle fiber. So a number of muscle fibers make up a fascicle, and a number of fascicles make up the muscle belly. The muscle fiber itself is surrounded by another connective layer called the endomysium. Now, we talked briefly about the function of the epimysium to package the muscle fibers together and to reduce friction between one muscle and another. The function of the perimysium and endomysium is similar in that it packages smaller groupings of muscle tissue together, but it also plays more of a role in terms of the contractile functioning of the muscle itself. So it plays varying roles in allowing chemicals to pass through, and it's theorized that it also plays somewhat of a role in allowing electrical impulses to readily pass through to activate muscle contraction. So there we have the very basics of the introduction of structure of skeletal muscle. We have the muscle belly surrounded by the epimysium. We have a smaller grouping called the fascicle, and that is surrounded by the perimysium. And then within the fascicle, we have individual muscle fibers surrounded by the endomysium.